Like when I turned pro in 2009, it was a goal that I set out to do when I started competing at 20 years old. And I went through so many obstacles to get there, and just year after year, coming up short. And then once I finally nailed it in 2009, it was a feeling that you just can't explain how you felt, because it took about 6 months before it actually sunk in that I turned pro. Because you work so hard for something and it finally happens, it's just something you can't explain. Oh, I mean, like now, like when I look back on it, everything I've done, everything I went through, it was 100% worth it, because I set out to be a professional bodybuilder, and I didn't fail at it. And that's something that I could be proud of. Oh, the Australian. Before I went to Australia, everything was perfect. My physique, my conditioning, and for me to travel outside the U.S. was the first time I did, and it was hard because I wasn't used to flying for 25 hours. I was only used to flying in the U.S., not internationally. So, that was one thing that I had to overcome, trying to get the water weight off me and just trying to dry out to bring my conditioning perfect for that show. But overall, competing in Australia, taking 7th place out of that type of lineup, I was happy with the outcome. The fans greeted me, as if I was the winner. And, I built a huge fan base, once I left, while I was there, once I left. And I'm definitely looking forward to going back there. Well, first was Australia, now I'm in Paris, like you said. Yeah, I guess I am becoming a world traveler, because after this, then I have Germany, then I have Spain. So it's something for me. I want to start marketing myself internationally, because like I said before, I basically marketed myself in the U.S. and through social media, I've been putting myself out there through Europe, all internationally, and I'm just looking forward to meeting all the fans out here, and just build a great relationship with them. Oh, it's an honor. Like when they contacted me, it was awesome. I was like, all right, this is great. They're an international company. They're just starting out in the U.S., but I knew from previous athletes that they're huge in Europe, and that's just a big opportunity for me to get traveling and meet all the fans in Europe and just become part of a team and grow with them as my career progresses as a pro. Q&T, like with their products, it makes things a lot easier as I'm traveling with them. If I don't have my meals with me, I can always have a Q&T protein shake. Just makes things so much easier for me. I'm 28. And I started training when I was, I want to say 10, 11 years old, but seriously training probably about 14, 15 years old. And that was something my dad actually got me into. And everyone asked me if my dad was a bodybuilder, but he wasn't. My dad was just a big advocate of, guys from the 70s, Arnold, the Hulk, Lou Ferrigno. And one day, we were actually watching the movie Pumping Iron, and that actually inspired me to want to look like Arnold. So I remember asking my dad, could I look like that too? And he was like, sure. He goes, let me just show you a few things, in our basement. And since the first day I picked up a weight, it just became, it was fun. Yeah, I'll be competing in FIBO in 3 weeks, and as far as meeting Arnold, I've already met him several times, and
you're a star.
Well, I didn't actually get to meet him. He had so much security around him, but I did get to shake his hand, and I did have a billion questions for him, but with all the security, and no, I actually shook his hand really soft, but it's as many questions as I had. When I had a split second to ask him, nothing came out of my mouth. So, but all in all, just to shake his hand it was great. Body part wise is actually my favorite are my calves. That's my best that's my best feature is my calves. So if you want to.
Okay.
And those are something that I was actually born with. I was born with big legs, and you know, from wrestling and playing football, they just seem to develop on their own. The next goal is to win a pro show and step on the Olympia stage in September.